Welcome, everybody. We are here to have meaningful discussions, to capture insight from people with a lot of initiative, trying to drive forward transitions that are needed in different regions of the world. Paris Peace Forum is working actively in different parts of the world. I am lucky to participate also in the Atlas Initiative for Africa. And I see this forum as an accelerator of innovation, an accelerator of networking to create value. And for what? Well, the idea today is to have a discussion with people with concrete initiatives that were recognized by the Paris Peace Forum to allow us to integrate, to understand how to integrate technology in this process that is anchored in traditional practices. We need to acknowledge that the communities that are willing to impact are following traditional patterns. And technology many times is disruptive. So we are going to explore through the cases that we are going to have here, I will introduce them later, the different angles of the conversation that could help us as a collective to improve or to adopt some of these in the different lives we have as professionals. Then these technologies could be different, like AI, satellite imagery, field advisory with local knowledge and agroecological practices, but also the ambition is to help scaling up agriculture, scaling up sustainable practices, because we have seen a lot of piloting. That is okay, we need to learn, but the important impact is going to come through the scale up of these to benefit the smallholder farmers and also the large systems itself. No? And finally, we have seen a lot of improvements in terms of outcomes through a data-driven approach. And many times the actors that need to be transformed are not equipped enough to do it because it's very difficult. So let's explore in the ideas today what could be adopted, what could be taken as a reference. So let's go. So we are going to have 2 rounds, one, each of them, 4, are going to state a bit what they are doing. And then in the second round, we are going to deep dive on some questions that we prepare for them. The idea is to have time available for you to ask questions and dedicate the last minutes to that. So let's start. Are you okay with that? Okay, let's go. Well, I will start introducing one per one. Rosa Altisent Rosell is the Director General of Agriculture and Livestock in the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, Fishery and Food in the government of Catalonia. And I have discovered this week the work that you are doing, and it's great that we can learn more about this straightforward from you. Can you share more insight about the sustainable agriculture production?
Yeah. Perfect. So good afternoon, everyone. And first, we want to thank the Paris Peace Forum to invite us to participate and being one of the selected projects to share with all of you this afternoon. The Sustainable Agriculture Production Initiative is quite a new, innovative system that we have been working the last four years. And it's for the first time, when we are talking about sustainability in agriculture, is the first time that you have what it means, how to measure the sustainability, because otherwise sustainability is a word widely used, but what it means, how we can measure sustainability. So for the first time, we have been working with this new approach. It's going to be a certification, and we approach the sustainability not only environmentally, but also social and economically. So we have these 3 main pillars that we consider essential to have in this sustainability approach. So, of course, this system, we have been inspired by the FAO's Sustainability Assessment of Food and Agriculture Systems, SAFA, adapting its principles to the Catalan context. This certification is based in two sectors different. So we are based in agriculture, but also in livestock. So it's also for both types of farmers that can adopt this certification. So at the end, we want the Catalan farmers, but also we want to open worldwide this certification to really prove the sustainability of our farmers and our lands. This certification for sure is also including data digitalization, but the core tool of this certification is a sustainability calculator. So with an uncreated algorithm, we have a calculator that helps and inform the farmers how the sustainability is of their farms. And I don't know how it's going the time, but well, the main conclusion on this is we have at the end of this process of certification, we, as I mentioned, we taking into coverage the environment, taking into account some specific factors relating to air, fertilization, use of phytochemicals, chemistry, also energy, plant materials. Also with the social, we take into account the human rights, the social environment for the growers. And in the economical, we consider that it's essential, the economical side, because if it's not sustainable economically for the farmer, it's not sustainable at all. So it's, for us, is one of the key points taking into account this sustainability. At the end of this, maybe later we can explain you more the detail about this certification. But at the end, the result is that with all the techniques that the farmers implement in their farms, we put all the information on this calculator, and they have a profile on how is their sustainability. And at the end, we classify the farms in 3 different types. We call A, B, C. C is just the conventional agriculture. B is like a medium, so but it's medium, but we orientate the farmers to really know what they have to do to achieve the A, that is the first one. So in each of these process, they learn about how to increase and how to know how to improve their sustainability. And with the last 2 years, we have been working with almost 4,000 farms. And we have been working together to put all the information, to have the possibility for the farmers to test the system and see how they like, or how they can use this also commercially, this sustainability point. I think it's more or less.
Well, we will deep dive later, so thanks for the introduction. It's already promising the follow-up. So Parvinder is also an entrepreneur. He's working also in the field of sustainable agriculture, regenerative agriculture. He's a co-founder of a company called Wayfield Agriculture Technologies. And the project that they are driving, and this is featured here, is scaling regenerative agriculture. So we have been discussing a lot in previous sessions, but please share with us a bit the pitch of what you are doing.
A very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Parvinder Kumar, and I'm Director of Wayfield Agriculture Technology. Our work is in India, so we are working with smallholder farmers. Basically, we are reviving regenerative practices, which farmers used to do since years. And for that, we have set up a technology-driven channel as well as offline channel. So through this technology-driven channel, we provide scientific crop advisory and climate-resilient farming practices with very less response time. Apart from that, because we need to work with the farmers in operational activity as well, we need to show them various demonstration of the field activity. For that, we conduct regular workshop training program at the field level as well. So that is the one part of the crop productions, which we are working with the smallholder farmers. Second thing is that farmers were facing market linkage issue for their traditional crop, which were mostly of premium nature. But earlier they were not getting the right market, right visibility to selling their crop produce. What we did, we find out these premium markets for them. Many of the imports, and within India, many people whose restaurant setup were from outside country, like for example, Japanese food, South Korean foods, and other countries' food restaurant chain. They were consuming, they were in need of these type of crop raw materials. So we provided crop market linkage for these traditional crops. And with the help of this market linkage, these farmers earn more and value for their crop output. In coming years, we are planning to link the agriculture sustainability to monetizations with the sustainability market. Like for example, soil carbon market, because we are practicing climate resilient farming practices, and soil health has enhanced a lot and increase in carbon content in the soil. So we want to link that soil carbon content with the international or national carbon market so that we can pass on the benefits to the farmers. So these are the three pillars of our work. And yeah, we are working on others related things as well, like for example, climate financing and related activity. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Pravinder. So we have two more cases. Each of them, you will see, are covering different pockets of innovation that are needed to be articulated to achieve this goal of scaling up agriculture in a new way, to fit the world within the limits of the planet. And this is the information data-centric approach we mentioned, providing technology. So now we have Dries Lalou-Kitan, CEO of Ground Truth Analytics. And the project here is GIS Agri Project. So can you share with us more insights?
Facundo, thank you very much. Thank you to the Paris Peace Forum for the kind invitation to present our technology, and I can testify that the Paris Peace Forum is fulfilling its mission to connect people, and I'm happy to connect with our friend Racine in Senegal, Facundo with some rivalry on football. I'm Moroccan and he's Argentinian. But also very surprisingly, and we didn't expect that, some good bridges, hopefully with the government of Catalonia as well. So I'm very happy to see that the Paris Peace Forum purpose is at least when for us it achieves its goal. So we are a tech company based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We developed a technology that creates a digital twin of agriculture in many countries. So the focus is in Africa, but we are expanding now to other geographies. And the idea is to create a digital infrastructure where all the parcels are mapped out across the globe, where we know exactly what is grown in those parcels, where we monitor also the growth of the crops in these parcels and forecast what's happening. So we work very closely with the large corporations like OCP to help them customize the fertilizer formulas for the farmers, which has a double impact. First of all, an improvement in the environmental impact, and most importantly, or very importantly at least, an increase in yield for the farmers and a better economical outcome for the farmers. And I don't want to take too much time, and I'll detail more in the questions.
This is teasers. So we are getting a bit of information we are going to deep dive later. Last but not least, Racine Lee is Director of Data Management in the Digital Products and Technology Academia 2063. We were listening to him in the last days because he developed the African Agriculture Watch. No?
Yes.
What's that?
Yeah, good question. Thank you so much, colleagues, for joining this roundtable. And thank you to the Paris Peace Forum as well. I can also echo what my colleague here, Dries, mentioned. I think beyond diplomacy, ADO as a an item, we've been witnessing scientific diplomacy as well, so which is nice. Now, the Africa Agriculture Watch is a program within Academia 2063, which is a non-profit international research organization headquartered in Kigali, Rwanda, but with a regional office for Western Central Africa in Dakar, Senegal, where I'm based. So 2063 because it is tightly linked with the Agenda 2063 of the African Union. We can define Academia 2063 as a technical arm to the African Union as well, even though we are collaborating with all African countries and governments. One of our programs is the Regional Strategic Analysis and Knowledge Support System, where we publish every year the official monitoring and evaluation report to the head of states. Now, AGWA, the Africa Agriculture Watch, is the fourth program at Academia 2063 that has an aim of leveraging emerging technologies for agricultural transformation at the continental level. By emerging technologies, it is about artificial intelligence and geospatial data, in particular satellite data. Today, there is no way a Minister of Agriculture in Africa or a Minister of Finance can get a detailed data at a pixel level about food crop production. So that is very limiting when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to implementing policies, even defining and designing policies itself. So the goal of AGWA started to try to not let countries focus only on the health crisis during COVID-19, but to also focus on the food crisis. Some countries were at the brink of a major food crisis, but all eyes on the health crisis. But it was also complicated to have people going on the ground to collect the data as well. So we start relying on satellite data and artificial intelligence. We started with DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why? Because it was big, and we knew also there are some challenges happening there as well. It was successful. Now we expanded to all African countries. So far, we are covering 47 African countries and for 11 crops, meaning today, all of those countries can have access to food crop production forecasts at a pixel level prior to the harvesting period. As an example, and I will stop there, for example, in the last couple of weeks, we received a call from the Minister of Finance from Senegal asking our forecast for groundnuts. Why? Because they're using it to know how much they should retain in the country for food security, but at the same time, how much they can trade regionally as well. And we're starting to see those trends in Somalia, South Sudan, other countries relying on those data. Let me stop here for now.
Thanks, Racine. Well, you have seen, we have different initiatives, very well connected through the outcome that is transformative. And that's the beauty of the innovation. No? It's coming through different angles to achieve goals that are shared goals. But to do this, and I am going back to you, Rosa, we have a challenge that is embarking the farmers. No, it's how to make them see this transition in data approach to be more informed, to decide on what to do at farm level. And I guess in Catalonia you have also the generational challenge, no? The transition from the traditional generations to new generations, and data could be a bridge on that. How do you see this strategy in the most effective? What's your concrete experience that you can share with the audience that could be replicable in other geographies based on the experience that Catalonia led?
Yeah, as you mentioned, moving forward to this type of transition, of course, the first answer to the farmers is why, no? Why I need to do this transition. From the numbers that we have in Catalonia, only from the total surface that we have in production, 7% of our surface is dedicated to organic food, 7% of we call integrated systems, and 86% is conventional. So one of the pillars that we think that helps, will engage the producers, first is about this new step that we need to think, all of us, about environment. So we all there is one pressure always coming from the European Commission. Before was the Green Deal, the Farm to Fork, the objective to reduce the pesticides, the fertilization, try to implement more organic fertilization, increase the organic farmers. But they always ask, how can I do this? Can you help? So we think that one of the main objectives that we have as a government is to be supportive to our farmers, trying to help as much as we can on do this transition, because if you don't have alternatives for the pesticides, you don't have any options to really improve your production, sure, you are not going to take any final good objective. So for us, it's trying to be so supportive with them, be with a lot of sessions to inform about how is this system, any doubts, we want to solve them. So it's like being always around the farmers and try to help them with all the issues when you are trying to do this, this challenge.
But let me do a small follow-up on that, because now we were exposed to technology and in person, because you need to engage people. Are you innovating also in the way you scale this more and more, or what's the learning about embarking farmers in the transition?
So we started with this project 5 years ago, and now that we have all the technical that it's behind these different pillars and different main topics that we want them to achieve. So one point is the use of digital tools. So as you mentioned, young generations try to be more kind of these digital tools. So with this system, with this calculator, helps them to understand all this new process technology. And for us, one of the key points is giving them economical help to them to introduce the data on the systems, see how is the output, how they can market the output. So in the last 2 years, we have been investing almost 6 million euros to the farmers, both from the crops and from the livestock, from agriculture and livestock, to help them to see how easy it is and it will be for them. Just enter the data on the system, see how the output is in the system, and we want in the future to have them the benchmarking, and sometimes it's also helping because if you know that you are sea level, and you see that in all your area, all the other farmers are in B, so it's possible going further on the sustainability. So the benchmarking is also a good point to achieve this. So I will mention that digital tools, and then always having them the help and some subsidies, incentives. Yeah. Yes, incentives is the appropriate word. Always is helping to.
And competition, you are saying as well.
Yeah, that's right.
That's cool. That is a gaming approach for innovation. Yes. That is not bad. But Parvinder, you mentioned the commercial angles, how to drive this forward. The engagement of farmers is also a challenge in India, I guess. But you are leading with millions. And also I was thinking about this advisory role that you have for the network, embarking then. The tool, AI is there, is helping a lot of efficiencies, but also you need to deliver that. And also you mentioned the commercial link, no? The economic incentives aligned with the long-term resilience of the farming practices. What are the core? A lot of questions, I know, but please help us with this.
Yeah. So we are working since last 5 years, and we integrated AI tools around 7 to 8 months back. Our tech platform is very much scientific since beginning, but by introduction of the AI, our efficiency has increased, right? First thing is that we cannot pass on all the AI generated response to the farmer as it is, because in that situation, farmer has to take a decision out of multiple options, and farmer is not in that situation to take a wise decision. So what we do, we filter out that response from the AI tools. Our already existing scientific team evaluate that response generated from the AI tool, and after that pass on the information to the farmer, what exactly is the good seed variety for this particular region, what exactly is the good pesticide, whether it can be bio-based or whether it can be chemical-based, right? So idea is to refine the information, right? And we don't send it as it is to the farmer. And apart from that, we in various training program in the demo, right? Like in LCD or some kind of screen, we show with the help of AI and with the help of our own video what exactly is the difference between low tillage farming and high tillage farming, right? Extensive soil disruptions and very low level of soil disruptions, right? Effect of the beneficial insects, which can promote the biodiversity, which can benefit pollination effects in the horticulture crops, right? So in crop productions, we take benefit from the AI tool, but we most of the control we have on the AI tool, and after refinement of the information, we pass on the information to the farmer. That is on the crop production side. And on the market linkage side, it's very interesting to know the usage of the crop output in a diversified area, right? There are restaurant industry, right? There are other new avenue of the food products are being developed, right? Like for example, people are very much health conscious these days, right? Mm-hmm. So there are very good product which are based on or which needs medicinal crop, which needs the crop which lower the cholesterol level, or they are good for the heart disease, right? So these type of new brands are coming into the market in India as well, and I think all of the world, right? So we connect with these buyers, right? And we supply them these traditional crop which are of premium nature. So with the help of AI, we find out new buyers who can be our new buyers, right? And to the existing buyer, we try to cross-sell the other products as well to make them demo that, okay, you are doing these things already and you can try this extra crop raw material for preparing these extra product which are in the same category line, right? So exploring the avenue of market linkage with the help of AI tool, we do that. Other thing is that government also rolled out various program for the farmers, right? For example, credit facility for the farmers in the India, crop insurance facility for the farmers, right? Apart from that, lending from the local banks, right? So these type of information, although government do it, but they don't sometimes pass on to the ground level farmers every time. Although government did its best so that every farmers got these information, but 100% coverage is not possible through government channels, right? So what we do, because we already connected with these farmers through our channels, time to time we pass on these benefits information that, okay, government has launched this new policy, or in the existing policy, these are the new benefits has been injected through the government. Please utilize these schemes of the government. So with the help of AI tool, we got to know with greater efficiency about the government schemes, and we pass on these schemes to the schemes information to the farmers. So that is also a area in which we are using AI tools. So yeah, I think these are the three things in which we are using AI tools, and it is increasing income level. And at the same time, because we are doing climate resilient farming practices, right? It is promoting better soil health, right? Less water uses on irrigation side, and better air quality, right? Because lots of substandard chemicals emits nitrogen, carbon dioxide in the environment, and obviously it contributes into greenhouse emissions. So we are impacting all these 3 to 4 factors through AI tools and through our existing mechanism as well.
Okay, so you are articulating a lot of things. But the government piece, because is there a formal cooperation with the government when you are deploying this, or you just being a broker of information, taking advantage of your reach to the farmers and the access to information? How formal is the interlink with the policies, and how are you leveraging those benefits to induce more change in the agricultural practices?
Yeah, so see, first thing is that in the area in which we are operational heavy, we work with government institutions as well, like for example, government agricultural university, governments, banks, right? So that farmers can connect with these systems, government system more effectively. Okay. So our team facilitated these things with the farmers, right? So that policy benefits or scheme benefits pass on to the farmers. What was your second point?
No. I am talking about more the formality of this interlink, because for Catalonia as well, now how to put the incentives in place in a way that is easy for the farmer is essential. So one thing that you are already doing is information. No? New policy, this is benefiting you. Here you can apply with this form and doing this. That is fantastic.
Yes.
But another thing is, okay, being the vehicle for farmers that are all over the place in different geographies to access to the final benefit, no? Receiving the money finally.
Right.
Are you there as well?
Yes. Up to very good extent we are there. And because farmers in India, smartphone penetration is very huge, right? So what our team do, they initiate the starting process, like for example, registration process. Yeah. And after that, all things are conducted through the existing department, government department. They do the follow-up, necessary follow-up. Because once farmers contact detail, a registration process has been completed with the government system. After that, government channels are very much efficient and very much sensitive with respect to farming system in last 3 to 4 years in India. Because government is focusing lots of things, lots of initiative to promote how to increase the farmer income, how to increase the agriculture producers, and how to increase the risk with respect to erratic weather conditions, like rolling out the crop insurance and all that. So government is very much sensitive for that. So they do the necessary follow-up as well.
Wonderful. So Dries, the different, maybe, let me capture. We are not going to talk about football again, because we know that Argentina is the world champion. But anyways, we can say whatever you want, but facts are facts.
Depends which championship.
Well, the bigger one. Anyways, no, because there was an issue there. But anyways, we can move on with the learning from your initiative. And the good news is that you are partnering with actors that are ready to invest in the solution for farmers. No, it's not a push of technology. It's about using technology in a proper way. That sometimes there is an elephant in the room saying, no, there is a lot of push, but we know the great work that, for example, you mentioned OCP is doing, trying to help farmers to adopt technology in a proper way. No? And when we talk about the GIS platform, with this combination of imagery plus data coming from the farms, plot-specific recommendation for farmers are easier, and they could decide informed. No? They can do proper assessment. What impact have you seen on the crop yields, no? The outcomes and the resource efficiencies? Because this is not about selling products. It's about improving practices and improving the livelihood of the farmers to make them more resilient. This is one question. And the other one is, what strategies are in place to make precision agriculture tools like this that you are developing accessible to the small farmers? And how do you ensure equitable adoption across the regions? Because you could see also asymmetric adoptions that is making more challenging for some of the part of the farmer population to follow and make it more unequal. Because I guess there are different levels of adoption of technologies in the region, no?
Absolutely. Thank you, Facundo. So indeed, once you build this digital infrastructure, which is a digital twin of all the agricultural activity, there are several players who can plug into this infrastructure and use it. So the farmer might use it directly or benefit from it indirectly. So I will start with the indirect way, because it's the ongoing way now. So we are working with large players as OCP, as I mentioned, but also governments. So governments can benefit from this digital twin because it maps out all the agricultural and crop activity in the country. So this has a huge impact because this data didn't exist before. It exists today because of the availability of data, high-resolution satellite imagery, data collected on the ground, but also and most importantly because of AI. Now AI can scale up and put this technology at super large scale. So we have mapped over 110 million hectares that we can monitor and refresh the output in 30 minutes. So the scale here is huge. Why is it important for the governments? They can plan their agricultural policies according to that. Think infrastructure. Think land tenure, huge issue in Africa. Think also shaping education for the farmers, education programs, because you can actually monitor all the practices of the farmers and then shape your education programs and training programs for the farmers. So this is what is indirect, I would call. So besides the governments, we are also working with banks. They can pull the data from the platform and be more informed on the practices of the farmer, which is also the credit availability for farmers. So when it comes to credit scoring, for instance. And then what happens directly, and it's a very exciting project we are leading with OCP Africa now, is putting an agronomist in the pocket of every farmer in Africa. So, and this echoes what Mr. Kumar was mentioning also. We monitor the pass-off through satellite imagery, and we can provide guidance to the farmers throughout the season. When to prepare the land, weather forecast to tell when to plant. It's also we detect, for instance, the growth stage of the crop, so we can inform the farmer when to apply the fertilizers. There is a huge knowledge gap in Africa, and I strongly believe that AI and our technology can fill in this gap. The other thing, and Mr. Kumar also touched based on it a bit, is the AI now can do so many things. So indeed, digital literacy might be an issue, but now AI can help bridge that gap. The speech to text and text to speech can enable the farmer to interact more easily with the smartphone and get good guidance, for instance, on the best practices. And this is one of the things we do to address these challenges.
I have a lot of follow-ups, but let's go to our friend Racine, and we will have time for more interactions. So the African Agriculture Watch is also using AI, a satellite-based platform, but helping policymakers and farmers to anticipate food security. Big topic, because it's not just remediating, it's anticipating, and to respond proactively. Adaptation, no? To mitigation of the impact, if you want. And in what ways the platform ensures that the small farmers, the smallholder farmers and local communities can access and act on real-time data. Because one thing is having this available, but then you need to bridge the gap, no? High-tech analytics and on-the-ground decision-making. So it's like, I don't know, I am lost sometimes listening to all the opportunities we have with AI. Imagine maybe a farmer with 2 hectares trying to survive with the income of 2 cows and maybe some corn or whatever. What are the insights from there?
Yeah, it's well. First of all, I think colleagues here already talked about how AI can be used, right, at scale. Now, here's the thing, though. It's even if you have the technology, you give it to a farmer. Idris talked about the digital literacy. That's one problem, but AI can help. Text to speech, speech to text, and so on. The thing is, farmers will never buy from our experience, something that hasn't worked elsewhere. It's a too risky investment. Resources are scarce, therefore they need to make sure that my neighbor or the other neighbor has used AI and they see actually value in it. Otherwise, it will be complicated for them to have some buy-in in the AI and any solution that we develop. And also, another thing before I forget, what we realize is sometimes people say, like, digitalization, we need to have some more adoption from farmers. In Africa, what we realize also is farmers adopted actually mobile money, which is technology. So why? Because it touches the pocket. Right away, they learn how to use the phone, and then those apps to transfer money, and then to get, they gain when they sell something. So we need to incentivize that, and the incentivizing aspects would be, how do we put things at mesoscale? What we did at Academia 2023 within a project that we call DERPIN is, let's bring that technology at the farmers' organization. Equip them with organizational skills and train them into using those AI skills and tools, Then from there, they will disseminate the information. So what we did is to make sure that they take ownership of the product, and then from there, be the gateway or the bridge between whatever we are developing with the farmers. Chances are it will be complicated to go to a farmer and say, I have an app that has supervised vector machine, graph neural networks, artificial neural networks that will help you to plan irrigation or predict food crop production. Chances are probably I lost most of this room. So sometimes when you go to the farmers, it might be a bit complicated. So there is that last mile that we need to bridge in terms of innovation. I think we talked about it with Atlas the first day, where we realized that actually innovation doesn't have to be sophisticated. How do we translate that information and work with the farmers? Now, one last aspect that I would like to mention. You mentioned mitigation and adaptation. I think the first goal that we had at Agua is, let's make sure first that farmers appear on a map. That has to do with what Dries talked about, which is a crop mapping. Plots in Africa are pretty small, on average 1.8 hectares. So if you want a farmer to appear on a map, at least to exist on a map, you have to invest on GeoAI. Geospatial data and AI, they appear. Now we have all the layers of issues that we have to solve. The political will, and also how do we incentivize that? We have solved that issue. Now we have a crop map, crop type map. We know how to scale it in Africa. That's solved. Data is not an issue anymore when it comes to mapping crop type map or crop lands in Africa. Now let's try to solve other issues. When it comes now to mitigation and adaptation, sometimes you don't know where to put your feet. Sometimes they said agriculture could be a tool for mitigation, but still agriculture has to adapt to climate change. Now the adaptation, what we did at Academia 23 is that there is a lot of the adaptation you will see on the IPCC or UNSCC when they report is those are pledges, or it's a conceptual framework that we are going to do such and such for adaptation. But how do we measure adaptation actually? If I decide to use, for example, agroforestry, am I able to measure who and where is using agroforestry as a way of adapting to climate change? Are we doing crop diversification? Are we using different schemes of water optimization use? For example, those metrics could be measured with GeoAI. So we develop what we call Gamma. It's like the GeoAI adaptation metrics for African agriculture with 2 tiers that are aligned with the UNSCC, but also with the African agenda when it comes to climate change. So there we measure phenological adaptation. We also measure management adaptation, and therefore practices also as well. And now we measure systemic adaptation. The goal is to use that first to target investment, provide minimal viable return, guarantees when it comes to return on investment. Now, how do we change adaptation as a, let's say, aspirational goal into something that is system-driven investment? So that framework will be launched at the AAA initiative in Morocco, the adaptation of the African agriculture. And we hope that it will help actually to make sure we identify farmers that are in need for adaptation or are actually doing it, and to tap into climate finance. Because at the end of the day, financing will be actually the most important part when it comes to developing African agriculture, and most important is scaling the innovation that we are talking about. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. I am learning a lot. I hope you are doing the same. I will use my role of moderator to ask a follow-up question to all of you, and then open the floor for you. So think about questions. I will ask you if you have something to ask soon. But my question mark now is, what could be done with all these learnings to measure the outcome for the planet? And how this could be valorized for the farmers? I mean, as you are monitoring all these things, we will have soon a clear way to measure biodiversity gains, water gain, efficiencies for the planet. This is going to be potentially tokenized in your methodology. I don't see far the opportunity. And how this is going to reach the farmers. Who wants to take it? Start. You want?
So I think farmers, specifically smallholder farmers, are the people who are directly working with soil, water, and air, right? And there is huge scope for improvement of farmers' life as well as climate's health through these initiatives. The initiative means helping the farmer, supporting the farmer, right, in improving their agricultural practices in a more climate resilient way, right? At the same time, making it sustainable for the farmers, right? When we will make it sustainable for the farmers and beneficial for the climate, right, it will automatically generate the quality food productions, because all these three things are somehow linked with each other. If two things get fixed, third will start it fixed automatically, right? Let's, for example, if we are supporting to grow a particular crop through some natural process, right? By measuring, by introducing the microbes in the soil, right? Pollinations, more pollinations into the top layer when flowering happens, right? It will obviously needs less chemical, less intensive farming, very less mechanization use, only scientific knowledge needed for that, right? Resources needs is less. Right now resources are using, farmer is using more resources, like for example, more agrochemicals, more mechanization, but he or she is overusing it because there is lack of knowledge, lack of scientific knowledge. So reduction in terms of usage of the amount of these resources, right, will bring more biodiversity, more climate positive change. And it will improve the output of the yield as well, quality of the yield. Because right now overdose of the chemicals brings more deposit of the chemical into the grains, right, which we need to refine later, or in some cases we cannot refine, right. So I think by starting fixing these things at the grassroots level, right, we can bring up the changes in these two other things as well, like starting fixing the farmers' life and farmers' farming practices. We will bring change into the climate contribution of the agriculture. Right now it is somewhere negative, somewhere less positive, but we will reduce the negative impact, right, by rolling out these type of the changes. Yeah, so that's my take.
And if you want to build on that.
If I can add something, at the last few years we have experienced quite extreme climate conditions. So we have experienced in 2023 extreme drought in our area in Catalonia, and after we have also experienced extreme rainfall. So we have seen in the last 5-6 years that all the climate conditions is going from one side to just the opposite, and we think that agriculture has a really important point in the future of our planet, because we have seen with extreme drought, with extreme rainfall, that agriculture and working the land helps to prevent what are going to be these disasters relating in rainfall. So we have just 1 year in the Valencia area. I don't know if you are aware all the dramatic situation that we live there. Also with extreme drought in Catalonia, we just decrease our productions hugely. So I think that the climate change is already a fact. I mean, it's obvious, and we think that farmers has a really important role in the future of the land and the future of the planet. So also our strategy with the sustainable agriculture production, I wanted to mention that it's based on science. So we don't create this new technical certification from the government. So we were working these 4 years with scientifics, from researchers, that in several parts of this, it means relating to biodiversity, fertilization, use of pesticides, also the energy, the soil. We have also experienced quite a huge soil erosion, and we have been working with all the researchers to see how we need to improve all these points, and we think that with also measuring the water footprint, the CO2 footprint, and we really think that to be able to face the climate change, agriculture has a key point worldwide, and we think with this approach we can give our farmers the points that they need to be focused, because there are, as he mentioned before, there are the ones that working on the land, the ones that take care of our land. So we need to help them as much as we can.
Let me go to the audience, and then we will have time maybe to do a round. Any questions? Yes, please. Can you introduce yourself, please, and be brief? Would be great.
I'm CM. I'm not sure if you could hear this. Yeah, I'm a. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit nervous. But I'm right now studying I'm right now studying in Sciences Po, international development. So you have all mentioned that social.
No worries, you're doing well.
Oh my God, it's horrible. I'm so sorry.
Sciences Po is a great university.
Yeah.
You will enjoy
so
it a lot. Enjoy here, because we are all friends.
Like the social, I'm just wondering the social aspect of the sustainability. How do you really plan to empower women in using AI tools and data, given that according to FAO, there are more than 43 women farmers in the world, and also higher percentage in smallholder farmers. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's clear.
Okay, let's take that question. One, any question more? Here we have one. Please, introduce yourself. We are taking the questions and we go around then.
Hi, I'm Claudia. I am also a student at Sciences Po, and I'm currently interning at Helen Keller, which is an NGO that does nutrition programs in Africa and Asia. And so this is extremely interesting. And the NGO I'm working for currently also does sustainable agriculture and empowering local communities and small farmers. So I was just wondering, because I mean, it seems that all your approaches could almost be complementary and kind of tackle different steps of production processes. But my question was more related to that preliminary step of like mapping the parcels. I just wonder, what are some of the main maybe institutional barriers or any barriers that you have encountered regarding politics, regarding land disputes, or just any sort of issues of corruption. I don't know what goes on. I've also done some research on corruption, and I've read a lot about that. So I wonder. I don't imagine it's that easy to do. What are the main obstacles?
Cool.
Thank you.
Another question there, over there, at the end.
Yes, thank you. Hi, my name is Marius. I'm the third student from Sciences Po. And my question is going more towards my own experience, because I worked for a year in the German Environment Ministry last year. And so the vision for agriculture and food came out, as we have seen the new one. Oh yeah, I can stand up, of course. And I was wondering, because there was a lot of debate around that, especially from the more sustainability lobby, saying that we have seen especially a backlash from like conventional lobbies. So there's less on sustainable agriculture practices than they would have loved to see in there. So how do you deal with like this backlash that we're seeing from these lobbies who were pushing for less sustainability, but more for keeping on the conventional ways of doing agriculture?
Okay, anyone else? No? Okay, so we can do 1 minute answers to close from each of you. I will start this way. Okay. I think you have been exposed more for the institutional aspects in your work. Maybe you can take that. But obviously, we were talking about the social aspects of the sustainability strategy of these transitions, not only environment, we are talking about people. We mentioned about the farmers, but we haven't deep dive on the gender dimensions, the generational change aspects as well, then institutional barriers, and the resistance for change. Let's do it like that. It's not only about one actor or the other. Maybe some actors are having more interest to avoid change, but some others maybe are not understanding how to do the change in a proper way. So please.
Yeah. Okay. We just came from the roundtable this morning. The definition of sustainability. That resistance has to do also with the definition of sustainability. What do we mean by sustainability? Is it something that is standard and predefined? Is it taking into account African realities? That's a huge question. And once we did the research at Academia 2023, we realized that sustainability could be defined in Africa as not something fixed, but a dynamic equilibrium between productivity, between resilience, and between inclusion. And that inclusion has to do also with our colleague from Sciences Po. And actually, it's at Academia, we did a project, Durpin. Jean-Paul is here and can testify that. We did a research and we realized that's why we changed our way of doing the project. When we talk to woman-led farms, the nutrition level at household is way better, and the return in income is way better. Therefore, what we did in that project is the outputs, we put them at the market where they go. That way they are informed with those outputs from AI and satellite data. So that is based also on a survey that we did to make sure that we can disentangle the impact if it's like a woman-led household and farm or not. So we start really having evidence that it's even better. I'm sorry, guys, but it's even better if we really work with women, and the inclusion part is really what we are working, towards. And I will finish here for you mentioned the tokenization or tokenizing the. I think one example is the carbon market, right? You purchase the outcome, but you're not purchasing the tree, the output. Basically, you are purchasing the transformation of carbon within the trees as something you use to offset your emissions. But what about we tokenize the outcomes of every single aspect that we did in the agriculture value chain? That's a market itself. It's a bit complicated as a concept, really. I'm even not sure what I'm talking about here, but I still believe.
Worth exploring.
Yes, right? I still believe that tokenizing, at least if it doesn't have the purpose of creating the market and bringing value, financial value, at least it has the potential to inform us better about the interrelationships between that food system, at least. So I think that's what we should actually experiment. I would really call upon like colleagues here and see how we can join forces to explore that. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely.
Please.
I can only second what Racine has been saying. When you talk to a farmer in sub-Saharan Africa, it's a woman. Typically, I mean, most of the farms are managed by women, and this is why also they are more efficient. They have a better expertise, and so you just cannot deal with this topic without targeting the gender issue. Actually, non-issue here. But there are some indeed programs to empower women as entrepreneurs that OCP Africa is leading, by the way, as well. So it's important. And to our friend from Sciences Po number 2 on the mapping of parcels. So the first element, the mapping is happening whether the governments are on board or not, because you need only the satellite image. So it's there. Whether they some might like it or not, and why they would not like it. So and then this echoes the part of your question. So number one is this mapping. When you do it, you have access to critical data for the governments. Okay, you take a country like Côte d'Ivoire, 30% of the GDP I think is cocoa. You have access to critical data if you map out these exploitations, and you have this data. So I had this discussion with them, for instance. But even if they don't do it, the traders of the chocolate lobby will do it. If not, they haven't do it already, and I'm sure they've done it actually. Sorry if I'm a bit controversial, but and so this is number one. Number two is that the other obstacle I've seen is transparency. And you see some interesting dynamics. So here I'm not gonna cite the country anymore, but you have some interesting dynamics on who benefits from having transparency on the data or not. So say you have a minister in charge of agriculture. His objective is to boost the production of rice by X%. And in 100% of countries, the person responsible for the statistics is okay. I'll be quick. Is those ministers? So they have an incentive to provide inflated data on the production. Which is not of the taste, for instance, of the head of state, and something I hear very often is that rice in some countries, rice grows on Excel sheets, and not on the ground. So these are the main how-dos, but it's happening whether we like it or not. Yeah.
Sorry for cutting, but we are out of time, but let's do 30 seconds, please. If you please, yes, Rosa, maybe starting, and then Facundo inclusive.
Yeah, I'm just going to be very, very quick. Relating to the question about the gender, as I mentioned before, our project and our certification is including also the social. So one of the lists that these themes that it's just specific about equality, and we have also in this list the gender equality, and for us this is a key point to gain this sustainability, take into account the equal pay guarantee for men and women. Company also has to follow appropriate procedures to protect pregnant women. So it's one of the key points for the sustainability that also includes the gender consideration. And just to a final remark and relating to the last question about the lobbies on the convention, just was shocking for all of us that what we have experienced in the last year is the lobby of organic going against this sustainability that we are putting on the table. And for us it's really shocking because as a government what we want is to have more sustainable production systems. Even if it's organic or it's not organic, it's not the point. So our purpose is having more sustainability on our production, but we have experienced just the opposite, not the lobby of the convention, but the lobby of the organic. So maybe we can discuss later.
Last word.
Yeah, I have observation and my inputs with respect to the institutional barrier, right? So some institutions are set up to solve a particular problem, but in reality they don't solve the problem. They seems to be like solving the problem, right? So I am giving an example for that. Like many governments throughout the world set up the soil test laboratory, right, for the benefits of the farmers so that they can do the soil testing with free of cost or at a very, very nominal cost, right? But what happens, farmers when plant to sow a particular crop, right, he plans to sow like for example in next 3 to 4 days, right? He prepare the soil, do ground activity and put the soil sample of the farm to a nearby government laboratory. But what happens, government laboratory took around 8 to 10 days of the time, at least. In many cases, it takes around 15 days of the time. So it is of no use of the farmer, right? Farmers obviously had to sow the seed at the right time because there is specific window, right? 1 week window, in a few cases 3 to 4 window, in which he has to take care about the weather, erratic weather condition as well, right? So at ground level, what happens? He or she don't get the soil report at times from the government laboratories or even private laboratories, right? But because soil testing laboratories are mostly government in most of the countries, right? At least in developing nations. So this type of the things are very much needed to be fixed, and they are the institutional barrier because government think that they are doing the soil testing, but in ground there's no impact, zero impact in effect.
Well, I am a lucky moderator because I learned a lot of things. I am part of Ambition Loop, that is an NGO trying to push for more ambition and to unlock these type of transformations. But these actors are really making happen a lot of change. So please help me applauding them to thank the... And well, so we need to liberate the room, so sorry for cutting the conversation.